Hi, welcome back to my channel. Cook with me, Sabrina B. If you're new to my channel, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. And in this channel, I'm just simply sharing my journey of living in harmony with nature. I'm sharing my journey of, awakening this memory that food is medicine. And I'm just sharing how I've been able to really navigate this path and this journey by remembering what it was that my specific ancestors were eating and what our specific ancestors were eating. And in this video, I want to talk about, decolonizing our diet. My spiritual journey, able to unpack that and to connect to that until I started to decolonize myself. And I really believe that this is what we are, like our collective humanity hopefully is like waking up to this at this point. Speak in a way that is a little bit lighter, not to bypass anything, but I feel that, there's like a definite collective darkness, heaviness in these moments. And I just want to speak from a place of compassion and love. And so not to sugarcoat anything, but to just speak about it with a little bit more lightness and a little bit more compassion. And what I really want to share about decolonizing our diet is remembering what it is that our ancestors were eating: whole, minimally processed food. So if, I'm from the United States, so I really believe that this is a territory, this is the cancer of this monster of consumerism. I really believe, like, I take responsibility of that as being from that territory of, like, we have such a huge influence on the world. It's really important that I talk about these things because I want this to be my version of activism. I want this to be how I bring awareness. And when we look at, genetically modified crops, when we look at heavily processed foods, I just want to bring awareness that, this is also the path of decolonizing ourselves, of like, we all have such a responsibility to, not support these companies, and how, this is really how we can decolonize our diet and remember that it's not just the territories that are being colonized. It's like, it's so deep. It's everything. And how can we heal this relationship to the earth, to the self, and to what it is that we are putting into our bodies? When I was living in the United States, and often when I travel, I realized that it's quite challenging to not support. It's not impossible, but it can be quite a challenge. I mean, just think about it. When you go to the supermarket in the United States, like, almost everything is completely packaged. Like, there's just so much packaging, so much single plastic, so much waste that exists. Like, that's just such a part of the culture there, to just really literally just consume and waste. And this is all rooted in addiction. Like, this is all rooted in on the external. Like, how can we continue to escape our inner world or distract ourselves from our inner world and like what's happening and what's going on? And so, I mean, how to decolonize a diet, it's simple, but I'm not sure that it's easy. How is it simple? Is sourcing from just a local territory, like where you live and what country you're from, or where, maybe not what country you're from, but what country you're living in. What is the local culture? What is the local cuisine? What are people eating? What were the ancestors eating from that territory at that time? And even if you're not native, you can still, like, I'm doing that now, right? I'm not living in the United States. I'm not living in California, where I'm from. I am living and traveling in Central and South America. So I've been able to adapt, and my body has adapted well to eating the local diet and the local culture, cuisine, and all of these things. And so it seems, in a way, it seems very simple when I'm sharing it. However, it's not necessarily easy. And a lot of times it's not easy because a lot of us have emotional addictions and physical addiction to food and to like many other things. So it's like until we can really address that, until we can go there, at least for myself, I wasn't able to change. I had every intention, but until I was able to really detox and decolonize myself and see how deeply rooted the culture that I was from is rooted in colonization, I wasn't able to heal my relationship to myself and heal my relationship to the earth. And so in the spiritual space, so I work in the wellness space. What I do for money basically is have been asked to help facilitate different wellness retreats. So that can look like yoga teacher trainings. That can look like plant medicine ceremonies. Like I get asked to cook, and so I don't really consider myself a chef anymore. I consider myself more a facilitator of nourishment, and so I really help people, you know, while they're going to do these deep processes, this deep healing, transformational spiritual work. I am there to make sure that people are nourished, and I specifically create menus around the local territories and what it is that our ancestors were eating. The space of wellness in the spiritual community, I often see a lot of like spiritual bypassing where it's like, oh my God, but like just love and light and like, you know, just like be positive and like that's it. Like that's enlightenment. Like that's how you do it. And for my personal journey, it wasn't until I was able to go to the deepest, darkest parts of myself was I able to access the light. Was I able to, you know, it's like I always tell people when I talk about therapy or any of these spiritual wellness practices, it's like until I was able to dance with all of my demons, until I was able to dance with all of my darkness, I wasn't able to fully step into my light, step into my purpose, step into my mission, and step into what it is that I came here to do. And so a lot of times in the spiritual community, you will see people, you know, being very silent about, you know, global issues, about colonization, about all these things. Spirituality, for me, in my perspective, in my opinion, it doesn't begin until we decolonize ourselves, period. There's no enlightenment until we decolonize ourselves, until we heal the relationship to ourselves. Then can we, you know, heal the relationship to our family, heal the relationship to our community? Can we even be available to help others until we help the self? And that has been my direct experience. And this is what the advice I'm constantly hearing from different Indigenous elders is like, if we can't heal the relationship to self, if we can't take care of ourselves, how can we possibly take care of anything? And I just want to be very clear about that my path to enlightenment, my path to becoming a spiritual sovereign being, my path to my purpose, my path to my mission, my path to all of this was absolutely through decolonizing myself and remembering that I am not separate from the earth. I am here to live in harmony with nature. That if we choose and remember that living in harmony with nature, like I really believe that we're here to live in harmony with nature. Nature can provide us the amount of abundance. When we live in harmony with nature, it's just she provides everything that we could possibly ever need. And when we look at our collective humanity and all of the most horrible things that are happening currently that we're all waking up to, hopefully that we're all realizing, the one thing that is in common is that we are not living in harmony with nature. You know, this is all rooted in consumerism. This is all rooted in capitalism. This is all rooted in colonization. Like, guide ourselves back to this, like, living in harmony with nature and really sharing that we all have a big responsibility. I was just sharing this with a friend, and it's like we were talking about how I just really believe everything really makes a difference, right? Like, if am I going to support this industry? Am I going to support this company? Am I going to support this packaging? Am I going to buy this? And, single-use plastic, using a reusable water bottle, like all these little things, it makes a difference. And imagining if we all took a stand and we all did that, okay, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, problem solved. So, I really believe that any little effort that we do makes a huge difference. And even just being intentional about it makes such a difference. And all I can say is that I just woke up one day and I said, yo, this is not working for me. Like I was just a slave to consumerism. I wasn't happy. I didn't feel good in my body. There was a huge divine intervention that happened in my life. Is this what it's about? Like, do we just continue this path of consumerism, and we die? Is that it? Is this what all this is about? And I just decided to, sell everything, get rid of everything, let go of all of a culture that was constantly telling me that I needed more, And I just started traveling. And I just took that huge leap of faith of like, nah, man, there's got to be something better. There's got to be something better. And I was really fully supported by the universe. And I'm still supported by the universe. I believe that we are here to be free. We're here to feel joy. We're here to live in harmony with nature. We're here to have a good time. We're here to feel good. Like, I believe that that's the point to all of this. This is my intention for really doing this, is that I feel, really sad that so many of us are disconnected from our relationship to the earth. I'm very angry about it. And, well, what can I do about it? I can just do what I'm doing now. Just make a video, and hopefully it will plant a seed, and hopefully it will, inspire someone that they can change their lives, that they're not a slave to consumerism, that we are, spiritual sovereign beings, and we all have a right, and we all have the willpower and the capacity to really create those lives for ourselves. I'm not special. I mean, I am, right? We're all special, but I'm not different from you. I just took a chance. I just have faith, and I never wanted to believe that, we're just here to consume and die. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. So I just want to say thank you so much for being on this journey with me, and I hope that these videos are valuable to you. And I am creating a website soon because I want to start offering coaching. I want to start offering a space where I can work with people who, they don't really know where to start. The kitchen and food, it can be such an overwhelming experience. And I want to help you discover, and move through these emotional blocks, these emotional addictions, these physical addictions that we can have to food and basically to consumerism. And so, how do you become someone who is even qualified to teach others? And I feel my qualification is that, like, I've survived this, I've lived through this, like, my life is proof that this is possible. This is all possible, and we're all capable of this. And so I want to create, more of these safe spaces where I can help you navigate and unpack what is going on for you, how to, nourish yourself with food, how to heal your relationship with food, how to awaken this memory that food is medicine, how to remember what it is that our ancestors were eating, how to heal the relationship to self, and ultimately how to continue and to get on this path of healing your relationship to nature. So thank you so much for watching this video. I look forward to sharing my website and sharing all the ways that you can connect with me and can work with me. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Ciao.